Yes. And I think also to speaking to how the West we sort of view beauty, it's generally, like you mentioned, it's how we sort of present on the outside. And often we can augment that beauty by using procedures, we can use accessories, any sort of embellishment. And then we're sort of, manufacturing our attractiveness in inverted commas to create this idea of beauty. So I think with the Taoism sort of philosophy, what I really enjoy about it is, like Mace is saying, it's about engaging with your own sense of self and your own idea of what beauty means to you. And then through simple practices and herbal use and inquiry, you can really start to make it up as you go along, but also know that you can change as you go along as well. And it becomes a fun little exercise where, yes, you might start taking some herbs, getting really good with your hydration, your sleep, your rest, all those sorts of things, and see changes on the outside that appease you: clear skin, shiny eyes, calm, grounded aura, all those sorts of things. But then you can also always go deeper and then not get attached to these outward things as well, I think. Yeah. So leading into that, to begin, can you explain, we've already kind of summed it up a little bit, but can you explain how the concept of beauty is viewed through the Taoist lens?
It's an outcome. It's one of those things, as always, is when it comes to when you have that Shen cultivated within you, which is that's the ultimate intention of Taoism and the ultimate way for you to be dripping in your own beauty. Dripping is a real good way to think about it, because the lubrication is if you're not lubricated, you don't have the yin, you don't have the high quality blood permeating you and just bringing that moistening of all of those parts of your body. That's when you first start seeing beauty or your radiance deteriorating, and you can see nail health go down. You can see rapid aging starting to begin, and then you see what happens as above, so below. Then you see within the body, you start having cracks starting to appear within the immune system. But that Shen piece remains the most important, because beauty is that cultivation of Shen. So as we go along, as we said, we always need these barometers to make sure that the body has been preserved enough. So if we've got enough juice, we've got enough health, got enough sexual juices, we've got enough, in general, yin, which is a lot of all of the fluids of the body, to ensure that we can go through these graduation cycles and end up a really beautiful elder. And along the way, if you go through the path of realizing, just to an extent, no matter where you live in the world, when you have a philosophy, it's why we bring altars inside, because we need to remember that we're a part of nature. And so at the foundations there, what beauty is getting into the rhythm and harmony of nature and the universe, which that's just a way of us trying to get in rhythm with ourselves, again, so that we can cultivate the potential for Shen, love to be expressed, fun to be expressed, joy to be expressed, libido to be expressed. And so when you're simmering with all that potential, when you're fertile, and that's a big thing of what beauty is. When you look at someone, it doesn't matter if we're looking post-menopause, it doesn't matter. The fertility, and these are all things that we see as qualities of the youth. And then when we do remember that, yes, youth, you could say early 20s and teens, that's the real youthening time. But a 90-year-old's going to look at a 60-year-old and say that's, well, it's a lot of youth. And an immortal Taoist is going to look at a 110-year-old and go, oh, you young scallywag. And so that is always relative. So it's nice to remember that, so we don't get stuck. So we do. We get stuck and pinned up on what we think beauty is. And of course, the ancient Taoist stories, they lay it on as well, because they know that is probably when you are at your most externally beautiful, and it's a good guide. And that's why goji berry is represented by a young woman in her 20s who's actually 200 and something years old, and took goji berry every single day and preserved her youth, because goji berry is a beautiful youthening tonic.